Thanks for joining me again. Today we're going to be looking at changing the transmission oil on a Honda Accord Sport 1.5 Turbo. This is a 2019 version, CVT transmission. So what we're going to need today are, you need the Phillips head screwdriver, you need a flathead screwdriver. These first two are going to be used to remove the undercarriage protector. You're going to need a socket, that's for the bolt on the drain pan. You're going to need a long neck funnel. Make sure you don't have a short one. A long neck funnel to be able to refill the oil once you're done. And most important of all, you need the genuine Honda CVT transmission fluid, the HCF2. If you don't have the CVT transmission, do not use the HCF2. Make sure you're using the right transmission fluid for it. And I recommend using the genuine Honda fluids. And also, you're going to need a drain pan to collect the waste oil that's coming out of your vehicle. And just be sure to recycle that. One other thing you're probably going to need, safety goggles, since you're going to be going underneath the car. You want to make sure when you're taking the undercarriage protector, you don't have any debris falling into your eyes. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're now underneath the car. That's the undercarriage protector. We need to take this off. That one, that's a flathead. But going all the way to the back, that's where you need your Phillips. So there's 6 of them now we have to take off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and take those off for now. Alright, now we've taken off all the bolts from the undercarriage. One thing you want to note, looking at back here, you need to slide this backward to get it off those hooks, and then that comes off. The one thing you want to note on this, do not drain the wrong oil. If you look over here, that's the engine oil, so that's not where you should be draining. This is the bolt you're going to take off. Let's see, make sure I have that in the shot. Yeah, that's the bolt you're going to be taking off. There's a bolt we have to take off. Make sure you have the drain pan in position. Alright, slightly offset, because once you take that bolt off, because of the fluid in the container is going to shoot out a little bit. You don't want it on the floor. So this is a 3/8 inch wrench. I'm gonna loosen this out a little bit earlier. Now I'm just gonna undo this by hand. There we go. I'm draining it out. Handy to have gloves so you don't get oil all over. What I'm going to do now is, to ensure I drain out everything, I'm going to take off the jack stands and just let the car sit flat. They're supposed to have about 3.7, max 4 quarts in it. The drain pan is about 7 quarts. So I'll give it time for everything to drain out, then we'll go from there. Now, to ensure everything drains out properly, I'm going to come in here, right by the battery, zoom in there. So it says HCF2, that's where we're going to fill this. I'm going to take that out so the system is open and it allows enough, it allows air to go through so we don't have a vacuum and it stops draining at some point. There, taking it out, now it's open. We'll let it drain out. That's where we'll put our funnel back in to fill it up. Lowered the car all the way. You can see it trickling down. I'm going to give it time to drain all the way out. Then we'll go back and put in the plug and do all of this in reverse and fill up with the new transmission fluid. Now I checked the clearance from the bottom of the vehicle to my drain pan before I let this down. If your drain pan is a little higher or taller than that clearance, you don't want to do this because it's going to crush it. But best to let the car be level. So one thing you want to make sure you do is, this is the oil drain plug, right? So if you look at that, that's the old oil crush washer. You want to make sure you get rid of that and replace it with a new one. You notice here also you have a bit of metal shavings. You clean that off. This is magnetic, so it's going to pick up a little bit of metals that are coming off from the engine, but shouldn't be a lot of it. There's just a little bit here, so we clean that. Then what you want to do is install your oil crush washer. Always replace the oil crush washer whenever you're doing an oil change, whether it's transmission oil or engine oil. They're cheap. Right. So we're going to go back and reassemble it. It's done draining. We're going to take away our drain pan right after I put back the drain plug. And clean over here. So there we go. Hand tighten it. The reason you want to change out the oil, the crush washer, is because that's what prevents you from having any leaks in there. So it makes sense to have a new one whenever you change your oil. And the bolt is back in. We'll tighten it.
I didn't see any pictures.
Alright, so let's go ahead and tighten that. We don't want to overdo it. That should be good enough. So we'll clean the excess oil that's on here. Otherwise, once you start up the engine and this gets hot, you get a burning smell. So if the camera is moving around, I'm holding it upside down to do this. Now I'm going to put some of the oil inside before we lower the car. Before we lower the car, I have to put back the undercarriage protector. But let's go ahead and put some oil in it. Remember, this takes about 3.7 to 4 quarts of HCF2 for the CVT transmission. We're going to fill the oil, but you got to get your funnel to fit right in there where my finger is. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I'll come back with the camera. If you see, we've got the funnel in there. Don't know if you can see, but it's all the way in the hole. There's not a lot of clearance. We should be fine pouring it in as is, but if you want to be extra sure, you can drop in the second one. Flows into this, the other one, and we go all the way inside. Now we're going to refill it. Again, we're using the genuine Honda HCF2. It's for second gen CVT transmissions. If you don't have a CVT transmission, do not use HCF2. I don't know if you can tell how clean this is compared to the oil we took out. Now for the last one I'm going to do, since I've already put in 3, each of this is 1 quart, which is 946 mils. So if you look at their markings here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this to about midway between 400 and 200 ml. So that'll be about 300 milliliters left. That should put us at about the 3.7 quart limit. Then I will go ahead and measure the volume of what we took out to see if we need more or a little. After measuring, looks like we're going to be able to put a little bit more of the HCF2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the car so it's flat before I go ahead and top off. There's another way to check this. I believe you take off that bolt, and if you have a gentle, like a steady drip out of there, it means you have enough oil. But if you've measured what you've taken out and you put back in, you should be good. All right, I'll go ahead and put the undercarriage protector back and lower the car. Now that the car is back level and flat on the ground, let me fill this up a little more. So I've got the plug back in there. See, right there. Now if your hands are on the bigger side, maybe make friends with somebody who has smaller hands and they can help you with this. That's a really tight space. Now that everything is in, we're gonna go inside, start up the car, and run through a few gears. Now we're back inside the car for the final steps. We're going to turn on the vehicle. Alright, engine is running. What we'll do is, with your foot on the brake, the car should not be moving for this. You're going to cycle through the gears. Leave it for 5 seconds. I'm going to speed through this. But you do this 5 seconds for each gear. The purpose of doing this is to make sure that you're cycling through all the gears and allowing the transmission fluid to circulate all the way through. Thank you for watching this video. Now you know how to change the transmission fluid on your Honda Accord with a CVT transmission. This is probably going to be similar. Just make sure you use the right oil for the engine of your car.